Hey, how's it going? I thought this would be kind of fun to do a series where I basically go on a nostalgia trip and play games that, like, I don't know, either you have played but maybe forgot, or have heard of but never really paid attention to. And I figured what better way to start than a game that I've recently kind of gone back and messed around with because it's so, peaceful. It's My Singing Monsters. You'll notice I'm starting on an island that has no singing. Why? Because this game is loud and I don't want to be crazy about not being able to talk during this, so yeah, there may be moments where there's a lot of stimuli going on, just so you know, because this game is, it is loud. A lot of singing. But before I do any of that, I just figured I'd talk about it briefly and just, like, what I experienced. If I'm not mistaken, I think it came out back in, like, 2012. At that time, quite young. Don't necessarily want to give away ages here, but young. And it was one of the more creative collection games, I guess, where you kind of collected all these different monsters on all these different islands and made them sing. There were a lot of unique events, things like that. You had to breed monsters. That was a really common thing back in the day, if you remember things like Dragon Veil and things like that. But this was kind of the one where, I don't know, I feel like personally, this is one of the ones I enjoyed the most because it was so creative. I specifically remember back in the day there was a there was a YouTuber, like an old woman YouTuber who who I made a whole bunch of videos on this game, and I really enjoyed watching those back in the day. It was like one of those early stages of YouTube where you could pretty much post whatever you want and something would happen. But yeah, I don't know. It was just one of those games where I thought it was really interesting to look back on and kind of just, I don't know, have a moment of reflection. In a lot of ways, this video is probably more for me, where just, like, I'm enjoying looking back at a game that I kind of, I don't know. I played this throughout the years, maybe, you know, less over time, but it was one of those games where I always kind of enjoyed it, but I maybe, you know, gave up here and there, made new accounts every once in a while. This is like my most recent go at it. Just kind of having some fun with it, trying to play it again. Of course, it's on my computer this time, so I don't necessarily play it every day, but hey, it's there. I don't know, it's just, I figured it would be fun to just reminisce. Go back, look at a game that you really enjoyed back in the day, and kind of just have that moment where you're like, oh, yeah, that was a thing. I mean, this game specifically has changed a ton. I mean, just the number of different, you know, islands and things like that. I mean, it's ridiculous, because back in the day, I mean, you probably had about up to here. There's probably these main 5, I would say, where it's like plant, cold, air, water, earth, all that stuff. And I remember, like, seeing these things coming out over time and being like, oh my god, it's so neat. But now, I mean, it's just ridiculous how many we have going on here. It's crazy to think that this game still gets updates, really. Like, that's the shocking part, if I'm being honest. The thing is, though, the novelty of having the monsters singing and whatnot kind of goes downhill when you get to the later stages, because you end up just making the best thing to get more coins and things like that. Not that I'm, like, you know, that knowledgeable about this game, but I've kind of been looking into it again after such a long time and realizing, like, how straightforward a lot of it is. I haven't played on all these islands. As a matter of fact, I haven't played in a couple weeks, but I'm just kind of looking through, scrolling through throughout the video. I'm gonna be honest, this video, the purpose is more so just for me to look back at a game that I haven't really taken the chance to look back on in a long time, and seeing all the new stuff that they've added, like islands like this, which I don't even know what is meant to go on this thing. I don't know. There's so many unique elements to the game now where it's like, I have absolutely no clue what's going on anymore. I mean, I will say, it's impressive that a game like this can hold up as long as it has. I think the only way they have is because of the creativity that can happen with the songs. Like, this is one of the islands that I wasn't familiar with until I came back to this game, but it's actually pretty solid. I might start, like, showing you some of the... Well, we'll stay on some of these islands. But I don't know, it's just, like, it's such a fascinating game having, like, the whole musical component with the collection idea, where it's like, I don't know, there's some value to playing the game and, you know, getting a new monster and hearing the new sounds that it creates. And then even on different islands, different monsters make different noises. I mean, it's just such a cool concept. And, you know, having your storages, things like that. And have, like, all of your occupants in the hotel, which is basically just a storage. They added, like, a light system now. I won't even lie, this is one of my favorite islands now. Also just, like, the event characters and things like that. I mean, it's such a creative game that it's like, it makes me nostalgic just by looking at an image of it. And I do think, you know, if you haven't played it in a while and we go to some of the, like, earlier islands, you might start to remember some of these sounds, and I really hope so, because it is fun to go back and listen to. Because a lot of the songs are actually pretty good. And I mean, you know, there's funny things like twisting with the time on certain islands, like I did that on my plant island, things like that. I mean, I wouldn't even mind making more videos on this game and getting all the new monsters and having some fun with that, but it's one of those things where I just feel I wouldn't necessarily want to make an extended series on this because there is only so much you can do. Like, I definitely don't think there's as much to do as something like Clash of Clans, which maybe I'll do in the future. But, it is just like, just letting the songs wash over you sometimes. It's just such a neat game. I will say, I think next in a series, which I'm gonna do this as a series because it is fun, just going through different games and having like that nostalgic moment. I think I might do Wizard 101. Because I do think it's a pretty, that's one that kind of like always stuck in my head, even though I don't play it anymore. I don't know. It's just, I always think it's so fun going back and playing stuff that you haven't played in a long time and just looking at it, taking it in, absorbing it, you know? I also love, like, this one specifically, I remember, like, going between islands, you can hear them singing different tunes, or you know, the noggin and all that stuff. Like, hearing the different tunes between islands and things like that is so creative. It's so much fun. I don't know. It's just it's neat to have a game like this where it's so like creatively interesting in comparison to a lot of like modern phone games where you basically just look for new characters and then get the character, then never do anything with them again. Whereas in a game like this, it's more about the music. It's more about like the actual songs that are created rather than the characters themselves being anything special. Of course they're creative and everything, but you want to listen to the new song. Every time a new island comes out, you're like, oh, what's the new music? What's the new genre? What's the new style? It's really, I just appreciate how unique it is as far as phone games go. And something like, you know, Clash of Clans or whatever, you can play for an infinite amount of time, honestly speaking, because it never ends, really. I mean, unless you spend thousands of dollars, you never end. But something like this, I feel like there are achievable goals. Like, if I really wanted to, I could probably get all the monsters, and it wouldn't be that difficult. Just devoting yourself to the cause, basically. Bolo. Yeah, but it's just like one of those, it's just such a fun game, I guess. Like, I've always thought it was such, like, a interesting style to it. There's so many, like, little things to mess around with. And I mean, you know, it's not like the best game ever, don't get me wrong, but I would say, like, as far as creativity in phone games, it's just like a, I don't know, like a whole new tier for me, where you're just, I don't know, getting that creativity unleashed. I don't know. There's not really like a direct purpose for me making these series other than just self-gratification and enjoyment. It's just something that I personally think is really fun to go back and look on games like this that, you know, might not necessarily be in the spotlight in the modern day, but are still, you know, they're still making it. They're still, like, thriving, even if you're not necessarily paying attention to them. Which, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's really cool that stuff like that can survive. I don't know. It's just very... I often feel that sense of nostalgia where I'm like going back and playing stuff just because I have some mild interest that kind of never disappeared. And I feel like this is a good excuse. It's a good excuse. Good excuse to play something that's nostalgic. I will say, playing some of these memory games back in the day, they are shockingly enjoyable. One of these, wasn't it? Oh. Now here's the real question. Can I do like the one thing that actually takes a little bit of paying attention? I'm just like clicking on things like a crazy person at this point. How many stages are there left? Oh, 2 more. You can do it. Oh. There we go. It's like my one challenge for the video. I don't remember where he was. He was somewhere. There he is. We're getting through this. Oh man, can I do the one challenge of the day? Same sound, different look. Shit. Oh. Whoa. Probably shouldn't be cursing in a video about a kid's game, but unfortunately, I feel like my tendency to curse has increased significantly within recent years. Don't know why. Alright, well I did the one challenge for the day. Not going to replay that whole thing. But yeah, oh. This is what I'm saying, like there's always new stuff added to the game, it's really creative. I'm just, literally, just so you know, this video is just me exploring all the islands and then we'll pack it up, call it a day. Again, nostalgia trip, not, you know, stay. I'm just here to check it out and leave. Just listen to some of the songs and get a move on. I do remember this guy specifically was a very weird monster to me. Cool. I mean, it really is a neat game, especially for lasting over a decade. It's like 13 years-ish now. And I mean, it's still relatively creative on top of that, which makes it better. I don't remember this one at all. That's a good one. I think the further we go, the more we'll get into the stuff that, like, I actually have filled out and maybe are a tad more interesting. It's just like, man, what a neat game. And I know it's over like 300 or so monsters at this point. Again, it's in a similar league to Dragon Veil and things like that, where you just kind of collect a ridiculous number of monsters. If I am able to get access to one of my old Dragon Veil accounts, I could also make that a nostalgia trip if someone's curious. I'm sure there's a ton of games I could do. Oh geez, I don't know, like go back to Flow Free, things like that. I'm sure if you watch some of my streams, you know that I still play Flow Free. I still play it a lot, actually. My daily streak's like over a year. Now I will say, well, this is beautiful. We are getting to the point where we're going to have some islands that are, the best way to put it is loud. The reason I kind of went up, like, down toward the top is because the further I go up, the louder it's going to get. Because there's going to be more going on. And I also think those are the islands that I've worked on the most because of the ones you originally get. And in some ways, they're also the most interesting, but it's just, it's ridiculous to see every island you're getting, like, new monsters, new, you know, sounds to listen to. Just, it's such a cool idea. Like, I have to admit, like, it's an extremely cool idea. I don't really even know what, like, an equivalent would be nowadays, because they don't really have this stuff. This doesn't really occur as often. They're always kind of separate things, not like a collect-a-thon with, you know, monsters and catching them, having their own individual sounds. I will say one thing it does remind me of kind of is Patapon, where it has this mix between sound and another gameplay element, in that case fighting. Which, if you have played Patapon, that game is awesome. Oh yeah, that's that goat thing. If you have played Patapon, that game is literally awesome, and I was trying to find a way to play it on PC, but I didn't see any. If you do know of a way to play it on PC, or you have, like, I don't know, a good PSP that I can buy, I might be willing to do it because that game is awesome. I don't know how many people really played Patapon. I don't know how well it sold. I mean, it had 3 games at least, so I mean, I'm sure it did well, but I don't know how much people remember that game. But wow, did I love that one. Bum, 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 bum. Trying to turn on all the... I don't even know what all these ones... I don't really remember most of these islands, honestly. I remember some of the earlier ones because they're so, like, nostalgic, but these ones are kind of, like... vague. I mean, I would have loved to have, like, a fully fleshed out world and all that, but I've probably had about 7 different accounts on this game, and I've lost all of them except for this one. And this one just so happens to be the newest one, so it has about the least on it. I think the only island that's like fully fleshed out would probably be the plant island. I will say, I remember this guy, one of the ones that I found very weird. Look at this guy, what the hell is he? So happy. I mean, I do think the art direction alone is probably something that helped this game survive as long as it did. I mean, if you notice something like Clash of Clans, like a lot of those old games, the art direction's really what saves them. Clash of Clans still has like extremely dated designs and whatnot in terms of like their gold mines and things like that. They have like 3-frame animations. But because the art design is so good, it can just hold up. I'm not even kidding about that, by the way. If you go back and like look at a Clash of Clans account even today, if you look at some of the lower level buildings, they have 3-frame animations, things like that. And it's not a big deal because they don't really like impact gameplay, but you can tell they're cutting corners, but because the art style's so good, it doesn't matter. I feel like artistic direction is so important. It really is. By the way, I think I probably showed my friend code. If you want to friend me on this, sure, but I'm not going to be playing this a lot. One of those things that I just pop on every once in a while and have some fun with it. I mean, today's kind of more of like a tour. I will say they added this thing where they have like hats and outfits and things like that they can put on different characters, which I think is really fun. I mean, they've made the game way more creative. But I'm sure it's just to keep things fleshed out so it can last longer. I'm honestly not sure about a lot of these islands if I even have anything on them because, like I said, this is new, but it's Nostalgia Trip, so I have to go and look at everything at least a little bit. What in the world is this boy? I don't remember this one at all. This one must have been one of the newer ones when I last played. Or just one of the ones I didn't get to yet. Big meebs, I don't know what those are. But I mean, look at that. Ugh, I love the creative direction in this game. It's so much fun. It's clearly just like lighthearted fun, just doing whatever it can to just, you know, have like a silly game. Which I mean, I can only appreciate it. Dude, this is one of the islands that if I had my old accounts, you'd probably have a little more creativity. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. You can get outfits. So this monster has some sort of outfit with it. I mean, I guess we could just check that out. Why not? Let's see. Oh, he has like little boxing gloves and like a bandage on his head. Ah, Another fun part about this game is that leveling like feeding the monsters makes them grow at certain points. Like you see it gets a little bigger there, and I think there's one more. I don't know what level it is. Oh, yep, there's a lot bigger there. And you can compare that to these ones over here. I don't think I have enough, but if you level them up to 15, I think they also get a little bigger than that, which I think is really fun. You can do a little bit of creativity with the sizes, and there's also like this Bigify thing, which I can make this giant. I mean, I think that's really fun. I don't think there's anything on this one, really, but we can check it out real quick. Says there's 2 beds occupied, which I guess there might be 1 monster or 2 monsters here, depending on the size. Like I said, tore through it all. Not really with a goal, just like an aimless wandering. It's just him going, hooga, booga. Not exactly sure why I have a Wubbox there, but whatever. I will say, back in the day, oh my god, getting one of those Wubbox things was such a pain back in the day, because you had to save like 50 million gold or something, and that was like an actual challenge. Oh, and there's also this thing now, which is like a battle arena, which is like, it's so strange. They really tried to go all in with the creativity, I will admit. Like, you have to like fight all these different monsters and things like that. I don't think I can do one for you, but it's not really anything special. It's just like an additional little activity to just do on the side, I feel. But that's what I'm saying, like, they keep adding stuff, which is so fun. Just the fact that they're not, like, giving up on it and continuing to add more and more, I think is so cool. Oh, we have another outfit. Oh wait, they have an egg. F off. Die. What do we have? His little belt. I will say, I loved when the Sugar Bush came out. Oh my god. That's still stuck in. Oh my god. I remember going to Sunday school back in the day and hearing that music and getting stuck in my head. Like, it would always get stuck in my head. I think we are starting to get to the islands where it's actually going to have a lot of stuff. This is also a really cool part. There's like different rarities. Like, so this is like the basic version of this creature. Then there's like this one, which I think is like the second rarest. And then I think this one is pretty rare. I'm not exactly sure about that. Epic, yeah, it's an epic. And then I think there's this one is pretty rare. I don't know. Yeah, that's also epic. This is actually one of my favorite islands. I will say one of the most fun parts of this game is just collecting the different creatures and having like your whole swath of different collectibles, basically. It really is fun. It's a Pokemon game, except with music as like the main source. Now, to be fair, that would actually be cassette beasts or whatever, but still, same idea. Not really, but you get the idea. Collecting a whole bunch of different monsters. And then some of these like more creative ones are kind of like your shinies and whatnot. I actually really like this design. It's just cute. It's very like simplistic but cute. And these are like Valentine's Day things and all that. So we are getting toward the end here. How many we have? We have 3 left. I don't know. I think there used to also be sub-islands. Like, oh yeah, there's mirror islands, which are basically the same island, except you could just restart. Oh, I skipped some of these. I skipped the earth one. Whoops, sorry. We have to do earth and water. Earth, wind, water, and air. I don't think I have any of the rarer characters on this island. I will say these gem mines. Oh, it's so nice just having like a free gem every day. Because 1 gem in this game is like a surprisingly good value. I mean, of course, I don't mind spending them for like a little YouTube video. That's why before I was speeding stuff up and whatnot, but... I don't really think this island ever, like, hit with me. Now, the thing is, I don't have a lot of the more, like, special monsters on some of these islands, like the Wubox and, like, the stuff that's a bit more out there. Oh, we have Zoidberg. Hello, everybody. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I really don't know how he does that voice. I will say these songs are so good at getting stuck in your head. They really are. They really stick sometimes. Oh man, we're getting close to the end though. Oh, so close to the end. We already did air, so we'll go to cold, and then all we have is plant. Which I will say, plant is probably the island I have the most. You always have to collect all the coins so you can actually see your monsters. I really do like how even if they're on like the, you know, even if it's the same monster, because it's on a different island, it has a different sound, right? So they can reuse monsters, they just change how they work, how the dynamics are. I forget what they're called, they're like Deeges or something, I think? They're like a Deej, I think. Or DG or something, like a Yeti. Now this thing was actually added later, if I remember right. Which is why I saw it on some of those other islands before. I will say, it might be fun to like rank all the monsters in the game. That could be kind of fun. A little testes over here. Has this guy done anything yet? I don't even remember what he does. He keeps like breathing like he's about to make a noise and then doesn't. I want to hear him before I go to the next one. Oh, alright. I think that's a little overpowering. I could have sworn there was a way to adjust volume of like certain monsters. I don't know. Well, it has come to this. The island that I have done the most on. This one will be loud. I might not be talking that much. Maybe I'll even close the video with this. We'll see. See how loud it is. This is probably my favorite song as well. Oh yeah, this is one where I use the speed up. This thing, this is tough to get. This monster right here, they are a pain in the ass to get. You can level them up past 15 now? I assume it's like 20 or something. By the way, I love how all these are like, all the islands are just like the heads of giant guardians. I don't know, it's just such a like a creatively just fun art design. Oh, there's a Wubbox. And then these little like Halloween guys. I love these guys, they're so derpy. I have them asleep because I think they don't really blend well with the song, but they're so funny looking. There's little guys behind there. Oh, there he is. Ah! But yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. I think it would be really cool if you like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah. Maybe let me know what other games you want me to go on a nostalgic trip through. I'm sure there are better games to do this for, but I feel like for my first one it had to be one that I'm still like in tune with. If you pick some other ones that have like a story or a campaign or something, I can probably play the first mission or two. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. I'll leave you on this for a minute. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see ya.